Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Jared Lee, and I'm joined, as usual, by my lovely wife, Jamie Lee. So, Jamie, how you doing?
Doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm doing well. You know how when you go on social media, and there's always random things of like, you got to give up something, like you give out those scenarios.
If you could give up one thing.
Like if you had to choose something, like you're in a situation, which I typically don't like, but I did see one that was kind of interesting. I'm curious what you think.
Okay.
Now, I would change one. I'm going to add three things because I know one of your favorite things.
Okay.
But if one, like if you had to choose one and the other ones had to go away, it's going to be this scenario.
Okay.
You have butterbeer, you have Dole Whip, or you have the egg roll cart over in Magic Kingdom because you are a huge fan of like the cheeseburger egg rolls.
I can only keep one of those.
You can always keep one. You can only keep one. And the other ones have to go away. So it goes into like versatility here. Which one are you choosing?
That's like Sophie's Choice. I don't know. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, of those three things, I like Dole Whip the least.
Agreed there.
So I would get rid of Dole Whip first. Now, spring roll carts and butterbeer both have my heart. Dang. The thing is with spring roll carts, so like it's like that's my favorite snack at Disney World, basically. Magic Kingdom for sure.
I would just say it's your favorite snack in general.
It's just really good, yes. But there's only a couple of types, maybe, and it's not open all the time. Butterbeer, you've got different versions of butterbeer. Are you talking about like drinks? Are you talking ice cream? Are you talking all of it?
It has versatility, yeah. All of it. The potted cream, the cold, the hot.
I know, that's exactly right.
Potentially in the future, which I don't know why they haven't done, a butterbeer cold brew.
Like a coffee?
Yes. I still want this to happen. I don't know why it hasn't happened yet.
So I would unfortunately, I would probably get rid of the spring roll cart and keep the butterbeer. You can't, like, especially since at Universal, you can't have Universal and Hogsmeade, Diagon Alley without butterbeer. Like, you just can't. You could have Magic Kingdom without spring rolls.
True.
So I guess that's my
butterbeer's versatility. And I think this is the thing that it isn't. I'm curious of where it would rank, and like if you had to actually break it down in terms of best theme park snack / drink or whatever ever. It might be the top of the list due to its versatility.
Yeah,
because it's accurate to the story, and then you have it in so many different forms, and it's delicious. I know some people don't like butterscotch, but
right.
I feel like it is way up there. And to me, I actually think it's probably the top of the list because it just has so many. If you get tired of it one way, you can have it a different way. And the butterbeer ice cream is maybe my favorite.
It's so good. It's so good. And remember we got butterbeer Hershey Kisses?
I do remember
a little
that.
bit ago, back in March, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think I'll stick with butterbeer as staying. And I would sadly say goodbye to spring roll cart, but fortunately, I don't have to actually do that.
Well, right. No, I think I would say the same thing because, again, I don't know what I would actually pick over butterbeer.
Oh, man. I don't know. If you're talking like drinks, specifically drinks versus like other like Disney drinks, I don't think any of them compare to butterbeer.
I would agree.
Like, I think they have a real niche, I guess, share in that market of Disney drinks that are themed to that land, I guess. I don't know any other ones that have
You mean
that.
just general theme park drinks?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. And if you get tired of it one way, like I've gone through phases where I'm like, I don't want it iced anymore. And I have it like, and hot it's good, but I think you always go back to like the old favorite and it's always pretty good. Yeah.
I can't wait for hot again. We'll see. I know they have it year round, but like, I can't wait for hot again when it's actually cold outside because it's the best.
I think I would actually prefer that over hot chocolate even.
You think so?
I don't know. It'd depend.
Yeah.
It would depend.
I do like hot cider, so that would probably be similar.
Hot ciders are good.
I've had hot butterbeer before, but it's been a while. So.
Yeah. No, I thought that was an interesting question.
That is.
Because I made you choose something against what you love.
That's true. I love all of those things.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's the show. All right. That's all we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
Actually, it's not. We do have some news we're going to discuss, including the latest on Stardust Racers. Of course, as we talked about previously, there was a tragic incident where a man died while on the attraction. We have a lot more information about that, and it has reopened at this point with some updated guidelines that we're going to discuss. We also have the fact that Shrek's Swamp is under construction again, even though it's about a year since that opened, which is rather interesting, and some other things. And then we're going to discuss our most underrated attractions, personally speaking, each of us have our own list at Universal Studios, 3 from each park.
Right. Not including Volcano Bay.
Well, I said
it's a water park.
Yeah, I said theme parks.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for all the comments to get out of me now. But listen, Mark Woodbury agrees with me, so I don't know what to tell you.
Volcano Bay is a water park.
Yeah, it's a great water park.
Yeah.
But anyways, that is what we're going to talk about on the show today. But before we do that, I just want to remind everybody, if you are watching us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't know, we had video versions of the show. You can find it over at YouTube at CTM Podcast is where you can find that, as well as over on Spotify. We have video versions there also. And of course, if you're listening on good old trusty audio podcast form, you can find us on all the major platforms there. We just ask you to please subscribe. And if you're able to, leave us a review on those. We would greatly appreciate it. It helps us continue to grow the show and do what we do around here. So, all right, well, let's get to the first news story, which, of course, Stardust Racers. We talked about the incident where Kevin Rodriguez Zavala tragically died while on it. We've learned since then there's a lot of things that have gone into this in terms of there's still an active investigation going on. I imagine that is going to wrap up, I would assume, very shortly, given that Universal has reopened Stardust Racers.
As of Saturday.
It reopened in the afternoon sometime. So on Friday, Karen Irwin sent a letter to team members for Universal basically stating that they're devastated by this, but they've actually had 4 different groups look at the ride. They had the state inspectors, they had Universal's people, they had Mack Rides look at it, and they also had a third-party independent group come look at this. They all came away basically saying the same thing, that nothing malfunctioned on the ride. And then, we learned since then that the victim here did have a spinal cord injury previously, so he was paralyzed getting on it. I think what's going to come away from this is that is basically going to be the determining factor of what happened here, given that upon opening Stardust Racers back up, there is no changes to the ride. There are some new guidelines, but they didn't add any different restraints. They didn't add any trim brakes that we're aware of to the ride. It's reopening as it was before, essentially. And the victim's family has hired an attorney, Ben Crump, who has made a lot of allegations at Universal, holding weekly press conferences, basically calling into question at this point. In his previous statement after the reopening of Stardust Racers, he had a very, I guess I could just say poignant response to it.
And I will say he is the lawyer representing the family, so not everything he says is factual.
Right. Well, yeah.
But some people hear it and some people think, oh my gosh, like this stuff that he's saying, is that true? Well, he's a lawyer. So you can't take everything a lawyer says.
He's also a very, we'll just say, controversial lawyer in terms of his tactics. There's a lot of things that will be said about him. I don't know a lot about him personally. I've learned more about it in the past couple of weeks. He has given 2 press conferences where he essentially is saying that Universal Studios are running unsafe attractions. He's even made claims that the team members did not respond quick enough whenever this incident happened. All sorts of stuff, saying a team member helped him onto the ride, which I don't believe for a second has happened. Talking with other team members, that is basically, you will be fired on the spot if you do that, for a lot of different reasons. And I've been told some information that if it is true, which I'm not going to talk about because I can't verify it, but if it is true, and if it went to a trial, it would not look good on Ben Crump. I'll put it that way. If it got that far. I don't know if it'll get that far. I kind of think he's trying to get a settlement out of all this.
Yeah.
But like I said, Universal announced they're reopening the ride with updated guidelines, which we'll talk about shortly. So Ben Crump's response as of yesterday, he said, quote, Stardust Racers is evidence in an active death investigation. Reopening the ride before our experts can examine every component is unadulterated spoliation of evidence, a grave risk to public safety, and puts profit over people's lives. Universal reportedly told employees the ride functioned as intended, as did the investigators. Universal made that statement, and the investigators agreed with Universal. So I think that's pretty key there. If that is accurate, then the design itself is deadly. So basically, he's saying that the ride created by Universal and Mack Rides is basically just an unsafe attraction. We are demanding that Universal pause the reopening, preserve all evidence, and allow our experts to inspect it. If they refuse, we will address Universal's callous actions in court, said attorney Ben Crump. And his family also made a statement basically saying that reopening it was disrespectful to Kevin Rodriguez Zavala and all sorts of things. So they're not happy that it's reopening. But the fact that it's reopening the investigation is not yet completed, which some people I think that kind of raise some eyebrows. But I don't think there's any way that Universal reopened this attraction if they had any sort of inclination that something was wrong with this ride in terms of not passing inspections or whatever the code is for this. So Ben Crump saying, well, we're going to take this to court then. I think they were going to try and do this regardless. Yeah. This is just going to be their thing they're going to really stick to. But yeah. Do you have any thoughts about all of this has transpired, the back and forth here and everything that's gone on?
Well, as we said a couple of weeks ago when we talked about this the first time, like this is obviously a very awful thing that has happened to this person. And, obviously we feel for the family and going through this, and that's got to be like the hardest thing ever.
It's got to be. I mean, I can't even imagine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's terrible. There's a lot of things we still don't know because the investigation hasn't been, concluded. It hasn't been released, like what information they have. I don't know when we'll ever hear that. I do think there's some questions about exactly what happened prior to getting on the ride. Should he have been on the ride in the first place? How his injuries actually occurred. There's a lot of questions around that. And I guess public opinion at this point, I think most of the people are thinking like, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I guess I'm going to assume that a lot of people are thinking like, it's possible that this person didn't have the correct ability or capabilities to be able to handle the intensity of this ride. And I don't know for sure. But based on what we know about his disability, it kind of leans that way. I don't know. Like, do you think that's plays? I mean, yes, it seems to play a huge part in why he was injured in the first place. Well, but we don't know for sure. It just points that way.
Well, there's some things that indicate that in terms of Universal's updated language as well. Yeah. You've had thousands of people have ridden this ride, and you haven't had this outcome with that. And there have been a couple of people that have been injured, as do happen on many roller coasters. There's injury reports constantly at Disney and Universal and other ones of people experiencing whatever the injuries are on different types of coasters. So it does happen. Typically, I'd say the majority of the time, it is due to pre-existing conditions, which is noted if that is the case whenever these things happen. But I think when you're talking about this, I have a background in personal training, sports, physiology. You're dealing with somebody, they're paralyzed, and Universal's language is going to show this in their updated stuff, that you do have atrophy of muscles, you have weaker muscles, you have weaker bone density, and part of the restrictions on this ride are basically, we're warning, if you have back injuries, neck injuries, if you cannot maintain an upright position, that this attraction is not for you. And basically, he didn't heed those warnings, and I think it was a situation where he was unable to do what he needed to do in terms of keeping yourself upright, bracing yourself in various ways, which led to this. And again, it's incredibly sad. I'm not trying to make light of what happened here, but I think when you're looking at this from a standpoint of the fault here, I don't think Universal has they did, and even have more now, had plenty of warnings about this ride, about different physical conditions. And, he wrote it, and this is what led to it. And I think that's what the investigation is going to show, because the updated language that Universal has placed now kind of give us, I believe, an indication of what the final investigation is going to show. Because, again, they're not going to reopen this if there's any chance, right? At least as it is, that the ride was the fault or there's something wrong with this ride. Right. So some of the updated language that they did release on the 4th, of the same day the Stardust Racers reopened, says that there are now rider requirements on not only Stardust Racers, it also applies to Monsters Unchained, Velocicoaster, I believe Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure, and maybe another one as well, but those are at least the ones that it applies to. And it says, for most rides and attractions, you must be able to independently maintain an upright position and brace and support your torso, neck, and head while absorbing sudden and dramatic movements throughout the experience. And then they go on to add to this. So basically, Universal has created a new category when it comes to attractions. So I'm reading this. This is from WWNT that wrote about this. In one seemingly new policy update, there are now 3 groups of attractions with various wheelchair requirements. And again, the victim, Kevin Rodriguez Zavala, was wheelchair bound, so this is a lot of the reason for this. Select attractions are, quote, capable of allowing guests to remain in their standard wheelchair, while others have been designated to or designed to accommodate those transferring from their wheelchair to the ride vehicle. Some attractions in the first category include Yoshi's Adventure, Fire Drill at Epic Universe, while the second category includes Constellation Carousel, Curse of the Werewolf, Harry Potter and the Battle of the Ministry, Hiccup's Wing Gliders, Mario Kart, and Minecart Madness. But now there is a third category with the requirement stating guests using mobility devices must be able to walk independently. Basically, getting yourself off of your wheelchair or ECV, walk unassisted to get onto the ride. So previously, it was just the fact that you just had to be able to transfer yourself to the ride vehicle, and a family member, a team member, a family member only, not a team member, could help you get onto the ride, which we're assuming happened in this case, given he was paralyzed, that somebody who was with him actually helped him get on there. So now they're saying you have to demonstrate that you can walk to be able to do this. This includes Dragon Racers Rally, Monsters Unchained, and Stardust Racers.
Okay.
It says the same category now exists for Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios, which include Hagrid's, Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, and Jurassic World Velocicoaster. So that's the biggest change there in terms of now that's stated you have to be able to independently walk, which gives us an indication here of what I think they're going to show, as well as there was some more verbiage that was added to, I believe it's going to be added to Stardust Racers, but it was added to Dragon Racers Rally and Monsters Unchained, which said, do not ride if you have the following conditions. It says sections for weakened bones or muscles, inability to independently maintain an upright position, and other conditions that may be aggravated by this ride. So these new warnings join the existing categories for heart conditions, unhealed surgery, motion sickness, and other similar conditions. I think the part where it says weakened bones or muscles speaks directly to what I think is going to be shown at the end of this investigation is, given his condition, being paralyzed, this is a result of that, where you have weakened bones and weakened muscles, and this is what they're basically getting at here. So essentially now, if you are a paralyzed individual, you are not able to ride some of these attractions. That
seems to be what they're getting at.
Yeah, saying that without, I mean, they're not saying that directly, but I mean, if you can't walk independently, obviously, then you can't ride some of these attractions.
So before we move on to anything else, I want to address some people online have been saying that, they are being discriminatory against people with disabilities on these rides. Safety comes first with Universal. Safety over accessibility, I guess.
There's case law that says ADA situations that safety overrides accessibility. Same thing with Disney as well. Disney doesn't have the thrilling rides as much as Universal does, but it applies to both parks.
And also, just a reminder that everything is not for everyone. Some rides people just can't do. I can't ride the teacups at Magic Kingdom. Make me too dizzy, make me nauseous. I just don't ride it. I don't expect Disney to make it so I can ride it. That's the ride is a spinning teacup ride. It's supposed to be like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to change that just to fit my personal, limitations to be able to ride that ride. And I understand that, there's many, capabilities, disabilities out there that, you can ride certain things, can't ride other things. But I think it's just important to remember that even if we really, really want to do something, there's sometimes we just shouldn't do it.
No, I mean,
you know what I mean?
Well, I think that
because
applies.
We can't.
Right. I mean,
or shouldn't.
And I think that it's a sad situation in here. And there have been some that are saying that Universal is prioritizing profits over safety and everything like that. And that it's Ben Crump alludes to in the family that it's disrespectful to reopen it. But I would just simply say, well, what is a respectful time period where this is supposed to be down? Again, they lost a son. It's a terrible situation. I can't even comprehend it, and I'm sure like they're grieving, and I feel a lot of compassion for them in this situation. But if your ride is passed, if nothing happened in terms of out of the ordinary here, it's passed all the inspections. 4 different teams have come and looked at this. Then you have to look at what's the outlier here. And you look at the guest that passed away and the conditions he had. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to kind of put 2 and 2 together, given the thousands of people that have ridden this attraction, and this is the only time that this has happened, and other similar attractions as well. I don't think it's being callous to say that in this situation, this ride in particular was not meant for people in that type of condition. And there were warnings about that, and they weren't listened to. And this is why ride warnings are there. There's ride warnings about people with heart conditions, and people have ridden roller coasters and had heart attacks and died. That did have, either an underlying condition or an unknown condition. That happened at Mission Space whenever that opened. There was I think it was a 6-year-old boy that passed away, and he passed away because it was an unknown, undiagnosed heart condition that he had, that ride caused it. So it's terrible that these things happen. They're very, very rare. I mean, you are much more likely to get struck by lightning, walking down the street or riding a roller coaster or whatever it is than you are to actually die on a roller coaster. It's very rare that these things happen. And in this situation, you've had other instances when this does happen that it was some sort of malfunction, like the Icon Park one that Ben Crump was also a lawyer for that family. But that one, they had altered safety or seat belts. They didn't have a seat belt as a backup system. There were things that weren't done that they were supposed to be done. That has happened in theme parks. Maintenance has not been taken care of. In this situation, there is nothing that comes back that has said Universal did anything in terms of maintenance not being proper, something malfunctioning here. And in those scenarios, and I think Universal's updated verbiage here is just going to show that ultimately the cause of this was the fact that he rode this in his physical condition.
Yeah. And hopefully next time we talk about this on the show, we'll have more information about what was found, because there's lots of speculating going on.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is speculation, a lot of it. And I'm sure Ben Crump even said they're going to have a press conference on Monday. He's been calling for people to come forward, bringing forward individuals who said they were injured on this ride but previously and everything like that. So I think this will likely, a lawsuit will be filed. Now, I don't know if this is one, again, I'm not a lawyer, but I find it would be a very hard case to win.
Yeah.
If Universal's found that nothing is wrong on their end. So I think this will probably head toward a settlement. I kind of think his whole strategy here is just to basically throw out a lot of accusations, make a lot of noise, and
see
hoping
what sticks.
Well, not even see what sticks, just wanting Universal wanting him to go away, because him going out there and basically saying that they're running an unsafe theme park is not something that they want out there.
Right.
And so I think that's kind of the strategy here, is to kind of take that tactic.
Well, Jared's done how many have you done now? How many videos have you done about it?
I've done a lot.
A good amount.
More than I would. I wish this situation didn't happen, but I was just trying to sift through all the information. But
so if you want to like a more in-depth, conversation about what he has to say about it, go to Cap the Magic on YouTube and watch those videos, because he does a really good job.
Well, thank you.
Laying all out. So
well, there's a lot of. I mean, of all the comments I've seen, I'd say 99% of it has been people basically having condolences for what happened here, but saying the same thing as we're saying, basically, is that he shouldn't have ridden this ride. Yeah. And I get it too. If you're someone that has a disability and you want to push through your limitations and experience life, like, I understand all of that stuff. But again, this is why ride warnings are there. And especially when people, there's certain people that want more and more thrilling attractions. And especially Universal does these coasters that are more thrilling, as do other theme parks. And the more thrilling something is, there's just going to be a certain segment of people that either don't want something that thrilling or physically can't do it.
Well, there's just more risks involved in something like
Correct.
that.
There's a lot, and there's a lot of G-forces on this ride. And
again, everything isn't for everyone.
Yeah.
I'll just keep saying that.
Yeah. So I think that'll be, especially that verbiage in there about the bone strength and muscle strength, I think is kind of a little bit of a hint about what that final report is going to end up showing that happened here. And, in terms of the fall, it reopened yesterday. It had a 200-minute wait at one point. People were running over there. There was a lot of video of people showing people running to it. So there's a lot of demand for this. A lot of people wanting to ride it that are coaster people. Outside of weather conditions or any other unforeseen issues, this ride is now open and running again. In terms of park operations, it's something Epic Universe needs. It's because that park already has high wait time issues. So having a ride that has been down for 2 weeks, I'm sure has not helped wait times for that park. But yeah, so that's kind of all we have at this point. But again, I'm sure there will be quite a, I guess that you might call it a potential spectacle of a press conference tomorrow. Or at least when you're listening to this today, because I'm sure Ben Crump, he's been doing on Mondays like every afternoon, having some sort of press conference on this. So this story is not over. I'm sure it'll end up in some sort of litigation, but in terms of theme park operations, it is open, it is running, and no changes outside of just updated warnings about the ride. So
okay.
But all right, well, the next story we have is only after being open for a little over a year, and this is the new Dreamworks area, Shrek's Swamp has now been demolished.
Yeah, so specifically, this is the swamp pad in the Little Ogres area. It's the one with the cattails on it, and it would spray water every once in a while. It's kind of in the middle of the walkway. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just in the middle of that. They haven't said what they're doing with it. They haven't said why they completely demolished it. I'm guessing it was a drainage issue or something like that, because there's nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean? Like, it functioned just right, and then all of a sudden it was down. I was like, oh, okay. So could be drainage, could be too much water, whatever it is. But
do you think they would get rid of the splash pad area, like it was underutilized?
I mean, it's possible. It's possible. If there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just in the way. I don't know. I thought it was a cute area. Little kids loved it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll give them credit for, you had a similar, something not working over at Epcot, which has been the in-ground lighting there that has been just a patchwork since that opened. So the fact that they're willing to go in here if there is a problem to fix it or whatever they're doing here. But we have seen them add, some stuff into Dreamworks Land since it opened. And this area is definitely one that I think it definitely had a limited budget when they built it. It was basically re-theme of the kids zone. But I do remember we were there the opening day for it, and I happened to hear there were two team members who were looked like they were higher up walking through. And then, mind you, this was the opening day of it. And I overheard one of them saying, okay, what else could we do in this area? And so the fact that I even heard them say that, and they didn't, they were just talking to each other. I just happened to overhear it because I have strangely weird good hearing. I hear things like
weird good.
Like I can just hear things that you wouldn't think, I guess. I don't know. It's a talent or a curse. I don't know. But I happen to hear him say that. And they have added some stuff in here, which I do like the fact that they're willing to make changes based on feedback or something not working or whatever it is. So we don't know what it is here, but maybe they just fix it and redo it. Maybe the construction crews they used, they didn't build it how they were supposed to build it, or they're going to do something different. We don't know, but
I don't know.
It hasn't been here very long, and they're already doing something there.
But the construction walls are up in that area, so you kind of have to go around if you want to get to the playground.
Yeah.
So
we'll see what happens there. I would assume it wouldn't take that long, whatever they're doing. It's a very small area.
Well, so it went down last October briefly, then it reopened. And then half of the construction walls were up back in July. And then now all of it is around. So, yeah, I think it's had issues.
I would assume.
Yeah.
Some ongoing issue they decided to go in there and fix it maybe. So
yeah.
We'll see if anything or what changes there in future episodes. But in terms of construction yet again, obviously we know Rip Ride Rocket is being demolished, while also the new coaster, which we don't know what it is yet, that is going in there, is also having construction happen alongside it.
Which is crazy.
So they're destroying and building at the same time. The double loop that basically you would see when you walk into the park is now completely gone.
It's crazy. So the loop sat right behind that music plaza area. And so taking that out, really, it looks like something's missing now.
It definitely changes the skyline for sure.
However, when it first went in, I was so mad that I was like, oh, this looks out of place. So I actually don't miss it. I'm like, yes, goodbye. Goodbye, big coaster. You looked weird there before. That was my opinion. I also thought it was weird when it like came out of the building, right? You know, by Jimmy Fallon,
the firehouse.
Yeah, I was just like, this is so crazy. But I'm interested to see what it will be. You know, maybe it'll be Fast and Furious. That's the rumor. Is there anything else about that we know?
It'll be Fast and Furious.
Oh, okay.
I think unless something has drastically changed from what I've heard. But yeah, I think it's going to be Fast and Furious.
Okay.
Which I know some people are going to like not like, but I simply would say if that is going to happen, that means more than likely Supercharged goes away. And if this is a really good roller coaster, people don't really care that much about the IP that's on a really good roller coaster. Like if it's a great ride, the IP doesn't matter as much. And so I think if they're going to use Fast and Furious in the parks, undoubtedly. So if it is on a roller coaster like this, I think that's a good place to put it, is to do that. But yeah, I think that. And I think the coaster going in, at least potentially from some of the ones I've seen, because this is going to be an Intamin coaster going in, has a very similar footprint. At least the one that I have seen has a very similar like vertical climb that Rip Ride Rocket did.
Okay.
So it could have it's going to have a similar footprint, obviously, but it is going to be wider. So they're actually stretching behind the old firehouse over there. They're taking up a bunch of land back there. I believe that is where the entrance is going to be, is on that side. And then it's extended a little bit as well over into like near City Walk. So it's going to have a little bit of a bigger footprint than it previously did. So you won't have to get onto the ride in the same place you got on Rip Ride Rocket. You're going to go down past Jimmy Fallon. That's where the loading station will be.
Okay.
At least according to basically the permits and the stuff on there.
I wonder how that will affect like Halloween Horror Nights and stuff. Like going forward, not this year, obviously.
Right. I don't know.
Because all the backstage areas are back there.
Right. They may move some of that. I mean, we do know some of the backstage stuff has been and can continually be moved over to Epic Universe. That is one reason that they got all that land. So I think in here that could have freed up some backstage area that they decided to use for this attraction and then move some of that stuff over into Epic Universe side.
Okay.
So that is...
Sounds good.
But yeah, they are tearing this down quickly. There's very little track left. There's a little bit left that they haven't got taken out, but I think within the next couple of weeks, it'll be completely gone. And they're not repurposing it. They're just tearing this thing apart, like cutting it. Well, they're not taking. There's no saving this. It's just a heap of metal that's going to be hauled away when this is all done. So
okay.
I don't think you're going to see Rip Ride Rocket show up in any other theme park or anything of that nature.
Yeah, I hope not.
I don't believe so. I don't think that would be something. And what's interesting, though, is you can see when they were cutting them, how much sand they had put in the rails. Because that's one thing they do on coasters, they fill them with sand to reduce vibration and like riding rough. And you can just see when they cut it, it's just full of sand. Yeah.
Sorry, that was what it sounded like.
Yes, much like Days of Our Lives, perhaps.
Ah, yes.
The sand of whatever, the
like sands in the hourglass.
Yeah, I used to know the character. My grandma used to watch that show. I used to remember was Stefano a character?
I don't think I watched it.
And my grandma used to constantly have it on, and always like, these people never actually, like, someone would die in an episode, and then like they're back a week later, and always like, didn't they die? Like, no, he faked his death. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then you look at the MCU now and you see that happens all the time.
Right.
Yes, yeah, there are a lot of sand in there that did that, but yeah, it's making its way to be gone, and who knows when they announce what is replacing it. I think it probably 6 months or so, maybe, but we'll see. But in the last bit of news we have is starting November 3rd, Volcano Bay will only be open 5 days per week, as well as the Tapu Tapu system is now officially gone.
Yeah. So it's basically like it's not consistent, but it looks like it's going to be closed on like Mondays and Tuesdays. So the dates that'll be closed will be November 3rd and 4th, 12th and 13th, 17th and 18th, 25th to 26th, and then December 3rd to 4th, 8th through 9th, 17th and 18th, 20th through 22nd, 23rd, and the 30th. So, yeah, just a couple days. Now, they say this could stretch into January. My guess is that because there's a big refurb coming next year, October 26th to the March 2027, that they are not doing a full, refurb time at all this year. Like, I think last year they closed for like a couple months.
Usually water parks will.
I don't think they're doing that this year.
Yeah. Well, there's also the rumor that potentially there is one expansion area they could do that they might also be adding another attraction maybe into Volcano Bay, which it could be for the extended refurb time. It could be that they have not said, that has not been, there's no permits out there necessarily for it, but that is a potential of it. But yeah.
It gets closer and closer to the highway, which it's right there to the highway now.
It is right next to the highway. That is for sure. So yeah, if you're looking to go to Volcano Bay, that is that will affect you a little bit. But it makes sense. I'm sure Mondays and Tuesdays are not that busy.
No, especially during the week.
Especially during
or during the school year.
Well, the fall and the winter.
Yeah.
You're not gonna have as many people wanting to do that. So that makes some sense there. So
yes.
Did they say if they without the tapu like the lockers and things, have they updated those like facial recognition?
I didn't see that. I just know there's like no virtual line or anything anymore.
Right.
I think they probably have updated the lockers now because now it's like that at Epic. So
I would assume it's like they use facial recognition on most of the newer lockers.
Right. So that's probably part of it.
Yeah. So unknown for sure, but I would assume there's going to be some way to utilize that and everything like that. So
yeah.
But in terms of paying for things, how you used to be able to on Tapu, which I don't know how many people maybe utilize. I mean, you only had it that day. It was supposed to kind of work like a magic band, but like we never went through the process of setting that up.
Nope.
And I'm guessing most people didn't. And I'm wondering if their internal data just showed most people weren't using it for that reason. They may have not been using the virtual line that often. And I know they were paying a licensing fee every year for it. And they may have just figured, people aren't utilizing this enough to really offset the cost of this, so we're just going to get rid of it, sort of thing.
That's very possible.
Because even Disney doesn't use magic bands over in their water parks.
Oh, that's true. Is that true?
I don't believe they do.
Well, you use your magic band
to get in.
Mm-hmm.
But I think once you're in the park, I don't think anything else. I mean, sure, payments. I'm sure you can still pay for stuff with your magic band.
Yeah.
But they don't have any sort of like fast passes or stuff like that.
No. Yeah.
So I guess I should say underutilized at Disney compared to the other parks. So
gotcha.
Not too surprising there. But all right, well, that's going to be it for the news. But before we get on to talking about underrated attractions, just want to remind everybody, if you are looking for some great theme park apparel, you should check out Capture the Magic Apparel, as we have some of the most comfortable shirts you will find out there. If you go over to ctmapparelco.com, you can find the entire collection we have there, and we can print on multiple different types of shirts. We have comfort colors, polycotton blends, hoodies, sweatshirts, tank tops, whatever you want, we can print on there for you. And we print everything in-house by hand. We don't use third-party printers, so it's very high quality, and it will last you for a very long time. And if you go over to ctmapparelco.com and use the promo code SPOOKY, you'll get 15% off of your order. Plus, if you order $49 or more, you get free shipping on top of that. So if you're looking for some great theme park shirts that will last you a while and you can wear in the parks or at home or wherever, you can check that out over at ctmapparelco.com and use the promo code SPOOKY to get 15% off. And if you want to contribute to the show, that's a great way to do it, as you get some great shirts in return. And we're usually busy during, especially the fourth quarter with shirts, so you can keep us even busier that way. As people start shopping for Christmas. So if you want early Christmas presents, that's a good way to do that as well, or for yourself, whichever way.
There you go.
So all right, well, let's talk about our most underrated attractions at Universal, and we each have our own list here.
Yes.
So we have 3 from each park, not Volcano Bay because it's not a theme park. Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure, and Epic Universe.
Yes.
So let's head off first talking about...
Well, what does underrated mean exactly? Like, are we saying like these are attractions that like are not traditionally like popular, or that we don't...
I mean, it's going to be a little subjective to each person. My definition would be rides that are not your headliner attractions that you think are good, solid rides, or the ones that you always want to do that maybe, don't typically have the fanfare.
Okay.
It's not, I would say, I'm going to guess neither one of our lists have, say, like Hagrid's or Velocicoaster.
Right.
Rides like that obviously get the headlines, but rides that are maybe older or just ones that don't have high wait times or whatever it is that you think are underrated. Or it could just be you think they're underrated attractions viewed how most people see them.
Okay.
So I think that's kind of my definition. Is that what you would agree with?
Sure, that's fine. Yep.
Okay. All right, well, let's start at Universal Studios.
Okay.
What is your first one here?
My first one is E.T.
Okay, that's mine too.
Because I know, it's the only original attraction besides Universal Horror Makeup Show that still is open since opening day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, doesn't always have a high wait time, but like sometimes it does. Sometimes people are like very nostalgia about it, and it still hasn't been updated ever. I think it's the same video, it's the same hue.
It's kind of a time capsule.
It's a time capsule.
Yeah.
So I really like it more than I have before because of our kids. Like our son really likes this ride.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those rides we can all do together because he's very picky about the stuff he rides. So we do get to do this one together, and it's, you're flying on a bicycle, and there's a lot of quotable things from that ride. And I don't know.
You get to go on an acid trip without taking the acid.
Absolutely.
I can imagine what it would be like in there when you're on ET's home planet.
Exactly.
And you're also in the AC.
It's true.
And when you do go through the queue, I love the smell in there.
Right. Oh, that smell and oh my gosh.
And sometimes they have the animatronics running in the queue. Not always, but sometimes they do. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
It's true.
Yeah, I think, it's an opening day attraction, like you said. It's one where, strangely enough, it has gotten more popular in recent years. Like the wait times keep going up. But I also think, too, it's like, it's a throwback thing where it's like this ride hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, too, you hit the 20, 30-year mark with things. People are like, oh, yeah, I remember that. That's a really great thing. So
yeah.
I enjoy it. It's one where we probably do it about every time we go to the park, unless it's down.
We try to, yeah.
Unless it's got like an insane wait time or something like that. But
yeah, we try to.
Yeah, and Steven Spielberg tell you to go to space, you need a intergalactic passport.
Yeah.
And then you can play the game of, will ET say our names at the end?
That's true. That's a hit or miss.
It's mostly miss in my experience.
Mostly.
Usually it's not, but sometimes you can get ET to be like, goodbye, Jared.
Right.
Jamie.
Sometimes they'll say some of our names, sometimes none, sometimes all of them, sometimes other people's names from different cars.
Or just none at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's awesome.
It's a fun little game you can play.
It's funny.
Yeah. All right, what's your next one?
My next one is the Bourne Spectacular Show.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I love this one. I'm not saying it's completely underrated. I think the people that have done it appreciate it, but I think it's one of those that I don't know if people want to spend a lot of time doing this one because I think it's a 30-minute show.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah. The pre-show itself is long. It's like 15 minutes long of them talking about like what you're going to see basically. Mm-hmm. But every time I go do this, I'm just like, man, this is amazing.
It's a great stunt show.
Using like visual, how do you describe this? So like it's like physical, or people are physically there, like doing the action, doing the acting, and then the screen behind them is like hyper realistic, kind of blends into it, and like it's the whole thing between the actors and the backgrounds like working together. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to explain it, but that's the best I can do.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah.
It's based on the Bourne Identity movies, by the way. Jason Bourne.
Yes. Just you just say the Bourne trilogy.
The Bourne.
Because they had
It's not the trilogy. There's more. There's like 6 movies now or something.
It's the trilogy. Let's be honest. I mean, Jeremy Renner played it, but the ones are... Well, I know there was a 4th one with Matt Damon, but I mean, the best ones there were the original 3 that were very, very good that it's based off of. And funny enough, his character is based out of Nixa, Missouri, which is like right near our where we grew up. Because I remember being in theaters where they said at the end his name was David Webb from Nixa, Missouri, and we were like, what?
Yeah, that was funny.
Like our entire theater like erupted when that happened. But that's one I probably should have put on my list because I was thinking more along the train of thought of rides. But that one, it is an attraction, and it's a very underrated one. And I think that's like a perfect way to put that one.
Thank you.
I will put for mine Men in Black.
Okay, this is my third.
Okay, I think this ride it's a lot of fun. I like the shooting system of this. There can be some improvements to knowing what you're shooting a bit and things like that, but it is fun. And I like it's you can you got to shoot the other car. It's not the same thing every single time necessarily because of that. There's different dynamics in there, and it's not as frustrating as say Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, which I think is a very similar type of idea of rides. Mm-hmm. But this one I think is done much better. I actually would love for this one to stay around. It may not always be Men in Black because that property is really not that relevant now. but a different theme over. Some updating would be nice here.
Yeah.
But I do like the ride. I hope it stays, and maybe just a different IP attached to it. But I think it's a good one.
Yeah, I agree. I don't do it all the time just because it does spin a lot, and I can't really do it that much. But I do love the queue. I love the like the big room with all the aliens, like in the big screen, and I don't know. You can even take tours of the queue. We can go down there.
Yeah.
And take personalized tours, and that's pretty cool. But yeah, I love the theming, the 60s vibe and everything, and so I enjoy it when I do it. It's nice to see your score and the music.
The true music's good, and it usually doesn't have that high of a wait time.
Usually no.
Usually not.
Yeah. So I think I agree. I think they should keep it around, and if they have to retheme it, okay, but don't take out the 60s vibe. Just do like a different.
But what would they retheme it if they kept the 60s
know.
vibe?
I was gonna say Fantastic Four, but they don't have that.
They don't have that.
But they've got those spaceship looking things like the World's Fair thing. Up there, so maybe something with that.
I mean, I think if it was going to stick around under a different IP, it would be completely themed differently. I don't think that 60s vibe would stay necessarily.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I would be very curious what you could do here. I would like to see something like that. But yeah, I always enjoy that one. But okay, what's your third pick?
That was my third pick.
All right, then my third pick is Transformers. I love Transformers. This one typically doesn't have that high of a wait time. It's basically a carbon copy of the Spider-Man ride, but I love Optimus Prime. I love Transformers, even the Michael Bay version. I would love it to be G1 Transformers, but this is one like our daughter and I always ride this. It's kind of like our little tradition to ride it, and it's one that I almost do every single time I go.
You do love this one.
I love Transformers. I still hold up the Michael Bay, not all of them, but the first couple are highly enjoyable movies. The first one especially being a very good movie, in my opinion.
Okay.
That's fair. But you also have Optimus Prime and Bumblebee and Megatron you can meet outside.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got that awesome part to it. I do wish our Megatron had a voice guy like the one out in Hollywood does.
That would be great.
That guy's pretty funny. I would like to see that. But yeah, I always like that one. I don't know. I mean, I think it falls under underrated. I mean, the Transformers movies are not. I mean, they're like almost they're getting close to 20 years old. The first one.
The first one is 2007.
Yeah, so it's getting close.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, that's a long time. Yeah. Okay.
Now I feel old. I remember being in the theaters and when I watched it, and you hear the transforming noise, and I was like, oh man. So yeah, I just my bias of Transformers will play a role there undoubtedly. But,
okay.
Yeah, but I will say I think your pick of I would have put the Bourne Stunt Show above that one.
Oh, okay.
If I would have thought about that. So.
Gotcha.
All right, let's move on over to let's go to Islands of Adventure.
Okay.
What is your first pick at Islands of Adventure?
Okay, my first pick is High in the Sky Trolley.
Okay, that was one of my picks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. This is in Seuss Landing, and this is basically the really slow train-like coaster. It's not really a coaster. It's like a train ride.
It's a trolley.
It's a trolley train ride.
Yeah.
But it's above Seuss Landing, and it kind of goes around. So one of the tracks goes to the restaurant next door, and then it comes out, and you kind of basically just do a tour around Seuss Landing, and you can see everything below you. You can see the water. You can see all the attractions. It has the best views.
Oh, I was gonna say especially in the evening time, like as the sun's going down,
you get some real good views.
Amazing views of the park.
Yes, I mean you can take pictures. You're not supposed to have your phone out, I think, but I do. I do take video and some pictures just of like the outside. Like you can't do it at Velocicoaster because you can take nothing on the ride, but you can do it here, and it's like, oh, it's so nice. It's beautiful, beautiful sunsets. You get some really good pictures. So yeah, that's why I put it as underrated.
I will say I hate the queue of this in terms of it is the slowest moving line of any line in the park. Even if it says 15 minutes, I loathe it unless we have Express Pass because the queue takes forever. Because typically they don't have both sides running, and it's just a very slow loading attraction.
And it's that circus beat. Boom, boom,
yeah.
Boom, boom,
and there's nothing in the queue to like, it's just, you're just in a circular ramp.
Yeah.
There's nothing to like, especially with kids, if they lose patience. It's just very boring queue.
But once you get in it.
Yeah, once you're on it, it's great. It's just the
Yeah.
queue part of it. I'm just like, ugh. But yeah, if
Yeah.
that thing says 30-minute wait, I'm not doing it.
No way. No way.
I'll go take the kids on the carousel again before I'll wait in that because I'd rather do that versus just waiting there, personally
Yeah.
speaking. But
All right, what's your second one?
Storm Force Accelerator or Acceleration. Acceleratron, excuse me.
Yes.
You can't do this one.
No, this is not in my list.
This is like teacups on steroids. Mm-hmm. It's always a walk on. Our kids love it.
Yeah.
You can spin insanely fast. And I don't get motion sick, but a couple, like typically we'll do it with I'll do it with both the kids. And, our son is not as thrill seeking. So many times, we kind of keep it at a minimum for him a little bit. And then we get off and our daughter's like, I want to do it with just me and you and go as fast as we can. And I'm like, okay. But usually by the second time, I got to take a break because I am very dizzy because you can get this thing going really, really fast.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. And again, you can always, I've never seen this thing beyond like 10 minutes to wait for it.
Well, it's fun because like it plays music, but it also plays like thunder and lightning. Because it's supposed to be Storm, the superhero.
Yes.
So
the X-Men.
It makes it a lot more intense, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does go pretty fast.
It's fun at night, especially.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a cool atmosphere. But yeah, there's always one like do it with the kids. And I think it's underrated in terms of it is a lot of fun.
Yes.
It just, and you can just get on it right away.
Do you remember I think we were coming from Volcano Bay and it got rained out and we came back to the park and we were going to do some stuff and everything was closing because of the rain, but Storm Force Acceleratron was open. Mm-hmm. And so we ended up going over there and riding it like before the park closed. And it ended up being like a really fun time.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just watched,
but I had fun watching the kids have fun.
Yeah.
That's what moms do.
This is true. And our daughter is always like, go faster. And I'm
Right.
like going as hard as I can.
No.
I'm like, I need to see a video of how quick we get spinning on there. Cause sometimes it's very fast.
Yeah.
Cause it's kind of like teacups combined with the same ride mechanism as like alien swirling saucers or the ride over in Disneyland with Mater's thing over there where it's like it kind of uses centrifugal force to spin so you're spinning the vehicle while you're also spinning it inside of it. Mm-hmm. So if you time it correctly and you got the forces working with you, you can really get that thing spinning.
Yeah, you can.
Like I said, if you are motion sick, do not touch this thing.
Okay.
Because you will be sick as a dog after this. But
noted.
Yeah. So all right, what's your next pick?
Mine is Skull Island, Reign of Kong.
Okay.
Now, hear me out on this one. So this one does get some high wait times if the park is busy, but most of the time it's easy to get on. I don't care for the queue. The queue's very dark. You used to have the scare actors.
You used to have a lot of different elements. Although that animatronic in there is one of the best animatronics in the entire park, and you hardly ever see it because you just walk right past it because there's usually not that long of a line.
Yeah. Oh, the old.
The like voodoo or the witch or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yes. But the ride is similar to like Fast and Furious where you're like in the ride vehicle and the action is happening like around you. And I think it's well done the way they do the fighting between Kong and the dinosaurs. Mm-hmm. And then the fact that you can see the big giant King Kong.
That part is the best part of the ride.
Like that, it's a huge, and he's growling at you. I'm just like, ooh, this is really cool. So for those reasons, I like it. Now the story of like King Kong, like from the movie, I never saw the movie, so I didn't really care about that part.
I don't think most people saw the movie.
But there are some elements I really like about it. So it's like it's not really a complete like skip for me, but it is. I think it is underrated in that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm glad they're getting out of this of like the tram ride.
I don't like it
adaptions because I don't like it when it's at the sides of it.
Yeah.
To view it, it's much better than Supercharged. I will give it that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, this one I didn't choose this one, but it's one I will do. I will do it much. I'll do it way before I would do Supercharged. But
yeah,
because Supercharged is fun in the sense that it's a meme. Because you're like, how is this even a ride? Like, how did I'm just so curious about the whole entire process of creating that ride and how it just got okayed from beginning to end. You're just like, really? Nobody stopped once and just been like, do you think we should have him flying on a helicopter? They're like, no, it makes sense. You're like, oh, okay. But yeah, I agree with that. So I'll say the third one I'll pick, and I say underrated, it also has nostalgia for me, which is Flight of the Hippogriff, because our daughter loves this ride. And we ride it all the time together. So especially we have like Express Pass, like we've we've ridden this thing like 5 times straight because she loves it. Now she's on to bigger coasters now, but she still likes riding this one.
Right.
And I remember going with my brother and his family, and it was me, my brother, and our kids, and we rode this thing like 4 different times, and then the girls went on it by themselves.
That was the first time she did that.
Yeah, she wanted. So they went through the line by themselves, like big girls rode it. It was a big thing for them. They rode it together. So I guess it would be underrated. Sometimes it can get some high wait times here. It's not one that I'm like myself find super thrilling. I mean, it's fun when you're on it, but it's more or less because our son has ridden it. He's indifferent about it. He doesn't want to go on it. Like he didn't freak out. He was just like, I'm okay.
Right. Yeah. No, it's got some great views.
It does have some good views of Hogsmeade for sure.
And it is what it is. It's a roller coaster for people that want a less intense ride, not, your stomach dropping a lot. It does whip you around a little bit, but it's very short. So I think it's very appropriate for a certain like age group. I guess.
Yeah, it's a good kiddie intro coaster. Much better, I think, than Troller Coaster.
Yes. You think so?
Oh, yeah. I think it's a much better coaster than that.
Yeah, that's true. It is. For sure. Okay. That was a good one.
All right. What's your last one?
My last one is Jurassic Park River Adventure.
Okay.
Okay. So we talked about this last week or last 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, that this is going down for refurb for like 6 months. And we thought maybe
10 months.
Oh, that's right. It's 10 months. And we thought maybe they would retheme it to Jurassic World.
Which is possible.
It's very possible. Now, I put this one because it's been around for a very long time, and I rode the original in Hollywood first, so I've ridden it a long time before it even came to Islands. I like Jurassic Park the movie a lot, and this basically is just taking you through this movie without the movie without characters. Basically, you just see the dinosaur part of the movie, if you will. It scared the crap out of me as a kid. It still is thrilling. I love the big drop. It's obviously a water ride, so you're expected to get wet and everything. It does need some help. It does need a little bit of a, sprucing up, if you will.
It needs some TLC.
But it's still really fun. I still really like this.
And it has a huge splash at the bottom. Yes,
it does. But part of it is a nostalgia thing. Like, I just remember it as a kid, and I've ridden it a lot of times. And I would be sad if they took it out completely. I don't think they ever should. But I don't think they ever will also, because Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg's
He's going away.
Spielberg's influence in the parks is much more even recently. Now, we know originally he had a lot of influence on that park, but even with Epic Universe, he was a lot of the inspiration and thought behind Monsters Unchained.
Oh, really?
It came out that he helped them create that as like their version of like a haunted mansion. So he knows what he's doing. He still has a lot of pull, and that's a good. Hey, listen, Steven Spielberg. Say what you will about his newer stuff, but I mean, he had a run through the 80s
and 90s.
Oh man, that guy couldn't touch him.
Oh my gosh.
And so I think that's I would say his influence. Yeah, I don't think Jurassic Park is going to go anywhere. Which would be interesting if they did change it to Jurassic World, or if Spielberg is like, no, you need to leave the original one.
That's the thing. I just don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out shortly.
It's still Universal property, but it's not his specifically. It's a world.
I think either way, getting a refurb here is a good thing for this ride, whether it becomes Jurassic World or not.
He's still executive producer.
Obviously he's still involved with it. I believe.
Yeah. Okay.
So
there you go.
I don't know if he'd be completely against it, but
yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on over to Epic Universe. Obviously, these are all brand new attractions,
right?
And there's high wait times all over this park, but there are some that have more critical acclaim than others, I guess you could say.
Okay.
So I'll just say my first one, and I love this ride, and I know other people enjoy it. I guess I would consider underrated would be Hiccup's Wing Gliders.
I love this ride. Do you think it's... I think it's really popular. I think a lot of people do.
That's the thing. This park, everything in here is going to have decently higher wait times. I just mean in terms of it's not going to be the coaster that gets all the attention necessarily.
Maybe not.
Or one of those. I mean, I think...
My Cart Madness kind of draws that.
Yeah,
too, and Stardust.
Yeah, you've got Monsters Unchained. You've got Battle of the Ministry.
Yeah.
So it's not like the headlining type of attraction, but I think this is one of the best coasters in terms of I've always called it Baby Hagrid's, and I love Hagrid's.
Yeah.
And it's just a more family-friendly version of Hagrid's that I think is insanely fun to ride.
Oh, yeah. I love the music with it. I love the narration. I love a coaster that tells the story. And
I love the music with it. I think that adds so much to it, having the soundtrack when you're riding it.
And the fact that it goes through like half of the land is really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It makes you feel like you're a part of the story.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So I'm going to say it's underrated because
Okay.
I think it needs more acclaim. So personally speaking.
Okay. I'll say within that same land, and I'll say the Untrainable Dragon Show.
I almost chose that because it is such a good show.
I think that sometimes shows can be seen as underrated because people focus a lot on rides. But as an attraction in this land, I think that this is one of the best shows and a theme park show that I've ever seen. It has an element to it that I don't know if it's like a spoiler now, but I mean, Hiccup and Toothless fly.
I don't think it's really a spoiler.
Yeah. So they do that a couple times, and like they're singing, there's dancing around, and there's acting, and it's a really good show. Really good show. And I know it doesn't pull the crowds as it maybe once did, but I think it should because it's amazing.
I think it's the best theme park show I've ever seen.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's so good.
Yeah.
Born Spectacular is still up there for me as well.
I view the stunt shows as a different type of show. But
Okay.
yeah, I think you're talking those two. Those are some of the best ones in any theme park setting.
Yeah.
I mean, Bourne is up there with the Indiana Jones stunt show over at Hollywood Studios. I think Untrainable Dragon is better than the Lion King show that you have at Animal Kingdom.
Ooh. Okay.
I think it's a better production. I think it's the production value is insanely high. The actors and the team members they have in there are great. So I think it's the best one in that category.
I don't know if I'd say better. I would say it's on par.
Do you have a dragon
sure.
flying through the clouds, Jamie?
I understand, but you also have tumbling monkeys.
Yeah, but you can go to a circus to see that.
Oh, Jared. Okay, well that was my first pick. Untrainable Dragon.
My next pick, I'm going to say, I put it this way because I think it gets a lot of people pretty critical of it. That a lot of people I've talked to and I think online. I personally love Mario Kart. I think it's a fun ride. I love playing Mario Kart, and I think it's just, for me, it's like a nostalgic ride. Now, obviously, this has demand. It has high wait times. I think it's a much better ride than people give it credit for.
Okay. Yeah, I think people, when they ride it the first time, are getting their feet wet. What do I do? How does this work? And there's a learning curve. But once you get it, it's really, really fun.
I think like it's got a ton of rewritability. And again, I know it has high wait times. I'm not necessarily talking about the wait times here, just in terms of how people view it. I actually think it's a very, very fun ride.
Yeah. It's fun. It's very fun.
What's your next pick?
I'll stay within Super Nintendo World. I do it every time. Super Mario World.
Super Nintendo World.
Super Nintendo World. And I am going to count this as an attraction, but I don't know if you will, but I think it should be, is the Bowser Jr.'s Challenge.
That's a good one. Well, that one requires you to have the power-up band.
Sure.
But it is fun. It's fun to do all that stuff.
Yes. And yeah, that would encompass like doing all of the activities with the power-up bands. I think that is an underrated part of that land that people may not do just because they're focusing on the other attractions. I think that like this can be a great time filler. Especially if like the other rides are down, be like, okay, do this thing. There's a bunch of games. There's a bunch of activities, and you can gain the points. You can see how you rank on that little chart thing. You can do the actual Bowser Jr. You go into that. What is that room? I don't know, whatever it was, where you jump up.
Well, that's the final challenge. You go in there and you kind of become part of the video game.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of really cool aspects to this particular thing that you can do in the land that I don't think everybody tries.
No, I would agree.
So I would say that's pretty underrated for that ride.
Yeah, this is why I've said I think that it's worth getting a power-up band, at least one, to be able to do that. Because I had a ton of fun doing it with the kids, even on my own. But with the kids, it was a ton of fun doing the different challenges and stuff like that, and going around and collecting all the doing the different interactive points with it. So
Right.
yeah, no, that's a good pick.
Thank you.
And if you do this, like when we did it on a very busy day, it was like 5-minute wait
Yeah, it was really quick.
because you got to collect all the keys to be able to go do the final thing. So it
Right.
does. So for that reason, you don't necessarily have a high wait time at the very end of it, typically that I've seen. All right. Well, my third pick for Epic Universe is Constellation Carousel.
That's mine also.
Okay. It's a carousel, but this thing is such a unique carousel, and especially at night. Now, technically, this is not going to be underrated at night because a lot more
Right.
people are going to ride this at night. But I just mean in terms of how it's viewed in the park, I think it's such an interesting, like, nice touch to this park that adds such a. Again, it's much more like it's like a dancing platform.
Yeah.
With these animals or these celestial things that you are riding, and I think it's gorgeous.
It's so pretty.
Like it's actually just a gorgeous
pretty.
thing to just watch as it does its thing, and it has different music that plays each time. It's one of the things when I saw the concept of it, I was like, oh, that sounds cool. And then seeing it in person, you're like, this is even cooler.
Yeah.
Like seeing it in person.
Yeah, and I like it better because it's easier for me to do this carousel because it doesn't go just in a circle like regular carousels. This one dances and it moves around and it doesn't spin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what I like it. That's why I call it dancing. Instead of dancing carousel. Yeah, this one's really good. At night it gets really busy. Just be aware of that. My tip would be to get in line at like sunset.
Yeah, because once it gets dark, people get in line much quicker. Yeah.
Yes, or get in line right before park close.
That's true.
That
That's
works
true.
too.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's a can't miss. But I feel like it's underrated, especially during the day.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's underrated just because it's a carousel. And so if you see it,
Hey, don't be shaming carousels.
no, what I'm saying
man.
is people look at it and say, oh, it's a carousel, no big deal. But I
Yeah.
think it's, in terms of carousels, it's like top tier carousel.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that is our list of underrated attractions that we personally feel. So mine again for Universal was E.T., Men in Black, and Transformers. For Islands of Adventure, I had Storm Force Accelatron, High in the Sky Seuss, High in the Sky Seuss Trolley Train Ride, and then I did I did Flight of the Hippogriff as my other one, and then for Epic Universe, I did Hiccups Wing Gliders, Mario Kart, and Constellation Carousel.
And then my three for Universal Studios Florida were E.T., Born Spectacular, and Men in Black. For Islands of Adventure, I had High in the Sky Trolley, Reign of Kong, Skull Island, or however you say it, and then Jurassic Park River Adventure. And then Epic Universe, I had Constellation Carousel, the Trainable Dragon Show, and Bowser Jr.'s Challenge.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, I like our list.
I do like our list too.
I'm jealous I didn't think if I would have thought more along the lines of a show, I would have done Born Spectacular because I love that show.
Well, I'm sorry you didn't think of it, but at least you agree. I mean, you do agree.
Oh,
with it,
completely.
right? So.
Yeah. That was a good pick. So, all right. Well, that's our list there, and that's going to do it for the show today. So be sure to check us out on social media. We are at Cap the Magic everywhere, including over on YouTube, where I do daily videos on theme parks, entertainment, pop culture. And so if you want a lot of the updates, especially around Stardust Racers, I've done quite a few videos on that, just kind of break down all that information. So if you're looking for more info there, that is a good resource to go check out. And then, of course, we have some other shows on the network. We have the Disney show we do every Thursday. You can check out. And then Jamie has Trip Tales, which is her trip report show. And when's the next one there coming out?
Next Monday, actually. So if you want to be a guest on a future Trip Tales episode, you go to ctmtriptales.com, click on Be on Trip Tales at the top, and tell me all about your trip. And just a reminder, I will be doing... I have an episode for October, I have one for November, and I'll have two for December. So if you have any trips coming up, let me know at the website.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. And well, if you like what we do around here, want to, contribute to the show, get some additional content, get some discounts on CTM apparel, you can check out Club 32, and that's our private group, much like our own Patreon that we just host on our own end, where we have weekly live streams. We have the Clubhouse show. We have the private podcast feed where we have all the content on there. We have music loops from the theme parks on there as well. A lot of people like to listen to that in their spare time when they're doing daily work, work, chores, whatever it is, or just escapism. to act like you're in a theme park, you can do that. Plus, we have meetups that happen all the time. You get 25% off of CTM apparel and 1901 Candle Company products. And there's a private Facebook group where it's a good resource. If you got trips coming up and questions, you can go in there and ask and interact with us a bit more. Live streams are always a good time. Sometimes we do trivia or just answer questions people have or just talk about random things. Who even knows? But it's always a good time. So if you're interested in joining there, you can go to ctmvip.com. We have monthly or yearly options. If you do the yearly, you do get a free t-shirt, and it's a little bit cheaper overall per year. So if you go that route to do that. So if you want to contribute to the show, like what we do, that's a good way to do that. Help us continue to pay the internet bill, pay the light bill, all those things to keep the show going. And again, ctmvip.com is where you go for that. If you'd like to join, we'd love to have you. So, all right, well, that's going to do it for the show. So thank you, everybody, for listening and or watching. And thank you, Jamie, for joining us.
Thank you.
And as Jamie always likes to say,
we will see you in the parks.
Bye.